So today is the 8th of December 2025 and my jaw is completely snagged shut, internally completely snagged shut, encapsulated my entire life, snagged shut. You can feel, as I've said for years, for 8 years, you can feel the process where it's encapsulated, the power of your own life. My jaw's completely snagged shut. It's getting worse and worse on an hourly basis. Crippling transgressions all day, thousands of times a day. My life encapsulated or snagged into a detective, apologising into my power and pulling it out. More and more pressure on my jaw, more and more pressure on my internal organs, more and more pressure on my body. Crippling all day, catastrophic braking sessions all day. My jaw's completely snagged shut, my ability to breathe snagged shut. And today, the reason I'm making this video is today is the first time where I've gotten limited or no control over my own life, because today's the day where my body is rock solid and all my ability to get power, apparently. So they stripped out all my ability to get power into an institutional self. They pulled out all my ability to get power into an institutional self. So basically, I'll summarise what I'm saying. Today's the first day where I'm in a full controlled state, with my jaw completely wide shut. It's encapsulated my entire life. They've stripped out my entire life into a controlled state, replicating, saying sorry into my power and stripping it out. You can feel the pressure on my jaw. I've just been sat in the pub then, trying to relax, and I can't. I'm just stiff upright, with all the drive of my own life stripped out into the controlled state. As I've said, you can see they've just spent every day in crippling braking sessions, committing crime against my power and stripping out. And today, as of this today, the 8th of December, it is the first day where I can honestly say my entire life's encapsulated and stripped out. My jaw is completely wide shut internally. My jaw is completely snagged shut. I don't take drugs, but you can see the process behind your eyes where it's encapsulated your eyes. All day I'm subject to the system replicating a detective constable committing crime against me, with my entire life snagged into a detective committing crime against me and apologising into my power and pulling it out all day, every day. And it's gone on that long now. My jaw is completely wide shut. So my jaw is completely snagged shut. My entire life stripped out. I've got no control over my own life. And apparently what they're relativising is your ability to get power. So I've got no control over my own life or ability to get power in society. That's in every day of my life. I've got no control over my own life. So in a full controlled state as a human being, we're entire life snagged shut or internalised in a controlled state of the state, where your entire power snagged or internalised. It's called institutionalisation, where they've overwhelmed you with braking sessions all day, every day. It's supposed to be an institute. I've been at an institute 8 years, and all they've done internally is commit crime against me, transmitting shit, transmitting transgressions, threats and accusations, and bombarding with accusations all day, every day, transmitting accusations into my power to strip it out, to institutionalise somebody. And today is the 8th of December 2025, and it is the first day where I can guarantee now that I'm in a full control state, my entire power over my own life snag. So I've got no control over my own life, no quality of life. I can also guarantee you now, looking at this camera, on the 8th of December today, 2025, my jaw has been snagged shut fully, not one second not shut. So it's been shut constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for about 4 to 7 months. I've lost track. Between 4 to 7 months, my jaw has been constantly wired shut, and it's just getting worse and worse. So 4 to 7 months, my jaw has been completely wired shut internally and encapsulated internally with my power out. And also, I'm going to say 3 months plus, I've not had a full erection for. They snagged my erection size, and my penis has shrunk by 2/3. It's shriveled up, and that's because they've been creating power in an institutional self, or stripping out power into the institutional self so that they can strip out what they want. So in summary, it's the 8th of December, and there's three main points today. One is, today's the first day where my entire life's encapsulated. My full life is pulled out and stripped out into an institutional self. They spent every single day stripping my life out thousands of times a day to keep somebody in a controlled state. My jaw's completely wired shut. And today's the first day where I've got no control over quality of life because they've stripped the absolute lot into the institutional cell. The second part of it is, the second aspect to it is, well, I've just completely forgot what I was going to say. I've completely lost track of what it is that I was going to say. The first part of it is today is 8th of December and it is the first day where my life is completely encapsulated with no power to relax. I'm just fully upright with my entire life encapsulated or internalised in the controlled state. 2 is my jaw's now been wired shut for well over 4 months and my erections have been snagged internally for about 3 months, if not the same, both 4 months. And the problem is just getting worse and worse. I'm waking up every day and there's more pressure on my skull and more in my life, getting encapsulated into the institutional self with detectives apologising. I'm in a critical condition all day, every day, with my entire life snagged into a detective apologising into 1,000 crimes. So my life's never changing outside of 1,000 crimes or 1,000 events of humiliation with a detective apologising to me for it. So all the feelings you'll get when you're being a victim of crime or humiliated, my power never changes or my life never changes outside of an interacting with a detective constable saying sorry to me for 1,000 crimes. So I live with my life all day, every day, never changing because they've encapsulated it outside of a detective constable committing 1,000 crimes against me and saying sorry for it. So basically my life never changed outside of a detective constable saying sorry to me for 1,000 crimes. So I'm living in 1,000 crimes all day, every day with a detective committing crippling high-risk torture. I've said many times it's inhumane to stay alive and they've stopped me from killing myself years and years ago. So they've kept somebody alive to torture somebody to death. They've kept somebody alive to torture somebody to death. All day, every day I'm subject to a detective constable calling me a liar and inflicting catastrophic torture all day, crippling, degrading, apparently killing my power, making threats against my life all day with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes, calling me a liar all day, smelly pussies with this stripped out all my sex drive. Basically made an internal punch bag where they commit crime against somebody all day, every day. My jaws ended up completely encapsulated because they stripped out all my life in breaking sessions. And today is the first day where I can't relax. My jaw's completely snagged shut internally, you can feel the pressure. I've put up with this now for about 9 years and today's the first day where I can honestly say they've stripped out my entire life and internalised it in a controlled state. So like I said, they've got to start regulating it when they're in strip. I've not been in jail for years and they're still stripping my power out on a day-to-day basis, minutely basis, crippling transgressions, committing crime. My entire life or ability to get power in society snagged into a detective telling me I'm a liar and saying sorry to me all day, every day. My life never changing outside of being apologised to for 1,000 crimes causing catastrophic and horrific torture all day, every day. Oh, today, I'm going to summarise what I'm saying. It's the 8th of December 2025 and I've just said this is the first day today where I can guarantee my life is fully encapsulated. They've stripped out my entire life into the institutional self. It's completely wired my jaw shut. I've just been sat in the pub then. I can't relax. I'm completely rigid. My jaw's completely encapsulated. I can't move. And all day from the moment I've woken up, I've been in a critical condition or a critical state, subject to some of the most horrific, catastrophic degrading you could imagine. Crippling apology with detective constables committing 1,000 crimes against me and saying sorry for it. Imitating, overpowering me. Imitating, he's killed my power and getting away with what he wants, making threats against my life. He can do whatever he wants at my expense and I can't do anything about it. Basically, they've created their own situation or their own they've squashed their own anxieties or their own genetic flaws in my institutional self, replicating where they've overpowered me and they've got away with doing what they want and they can do what they want at my expense and I can't do anything about it. That'll be something in conjunction with the individual officers' own genetic flaws or their own genetic faults. I don't care less. It's cost me every single day for well over 10, 15 years, but definitely 10 years, and now it's to the extent where I can guarantee today I cannot move. I'm in a full control state with no power over my own life, or apparently no ability to get power in society, which means I'm in a full control state. You spend the remainder of your life in hospitals or asylums because they've encapsulated your entire life. My jaw is completely shaking up, and I'm in completely neck short. My entire life's pulled out into it. I've got no feelings. I've not been able to get an erection properly for years, but my penis has now shrunk by 2/3. It's 33% the size it was last year before Shepcote Lane. My jaw now is completely encapsulated. It's getting worse and worse, putting more pressure on my life. More and more control over my own life being stripped out in a controlled state. So I'm just in a rigid, uncontrolled, no control over my own life, unpowered, robotic controlled state. And today's the day where I'm in a full control state. I'm just sat in the pub there and I physically couldn't move. I didn't have the physical ability to get up and get anything done or get power in society, apparently. So for me, it's a crime against humanity. They're opening full institutional cells with the objective of committing crime against the power all day in breaking sessions, stripping it out and internalising it, saying sorry. So I'm now being subject to crippling apologies all day, thousands of times a day, causing catastrophic torture, whilst the institution has somebody putting more pressure on my jaw. Catastrophic. Like I said, it's inhumane to be alive. I'd have died years ago. And they've kept somebody alive to commit crime against them and torture them to death, relativising Oya, so they can commit crime against somebody. All I can say is there needs to be a lot. I cannot believe that it's so unregulated in this day and age. The crimes that they're getting away with, and the crimes committing to having the brain dead state now is in that bad a state. I've got no control over my own life. I've got no ability to get sex power. Like I said, my penis is the 33% size that it should be. They've been relativising little prick while snagging my ability to get erections, and my erections are not full. I've got no feelings whatsoever of sex power, or ability to get sex power, or knowledge of what sex power is. Completely devoid of all kind of sexual tension or any kind of feelings or intimate tension, or basically sex prowess. They've completely devoid, abolished it entirely. So you're in a complete powerless brain dead state. Basically, even if you wasn't getting tortured, you can't live with the amount of life they pulled out all day, crippling, harsh humiliation with detectives entitled to your power, saying sorry into 1,000 crimes, inflicting catastrophic degrading, consoling you that he's entitled to do what he wants, and he's killed your power and got away with what he wants, and he's entitled to say sorry for it. Crippling torture all day, that's all I can summarise. Today my jaw is completely wired shut. I've got no power over my own life, and all day, every day, my entire life I've been subject to a catastrophic, crippling apology with detectives humiliating me internally, entitling himself to say sorry for 1,000 crimes, and he gets away with doing what he wants and says sorry for it. Problem still continues. It's all day, every day in a critical condition. The tightness on my jaw is getting worse. All I can say is it's been a forced suicide for years, but catastrophic iris torture getting worse. My jaw is completely wired shut. Completely shut internally, with no power over my own life. I've never seen anything as bad in my entire life. They stripped my entire life out, apologising to my power and for pulling my power out. They've weaponised an apology into the power of my own life, inflicting catastrophic and horrific torture, and stripped every single bit of it out 3,000 times a day, crippling breaking sessions all day, saying sorry for 1,000 crimes and pulling it out all day, every day, costing me every day of my life. And now I'm completely institutionalised with my entire life in society stripped out, with detectives committing crime against me, apologising all day, every day, humiliating me and degrading me internally, saying sorry for committing 1,000 crimes against me. They've destroyed somebody's life to create a human punch bag. My jaw is completely wired shut. Like I said, it's inhumane to be alive, but I'm not kidding when I say this. It's from the moment I'm waking up until the moment I'm going back all day, every day now for years, where detectives are replicating, being entitled to my power, with my entire life snagged into an apology where he's apologising to me thousands of times a day with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes with crippling humiliation. That's every time that they've committed a crime against me, every time they've degraded somebody, incriminated somebody, every time they've basically every time you've been in a situation where somebody's been entitled to your power, whether it's criminal, degrading, humiliation, incrimination, defamation, every time they've encapsulated into a detective being entitled to commit crime against you, and he gets away with what he wants all day, every day. From the moment I've woken up, my life never changes outside of a crippling apology with a detective calling me a liar and saying sorry into my power with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes causing crippling, degrading and humiliation. It's destroyed somebody's life. Like I said, it's been inhumane to stay alive for years, and I'm not joking when I say this. I'm in a critical condition from the moment I'm opening my eyes or getting woken up 5 or 6 times a night until now, where I'm going back to the tent at 1 a.m, 12 at night. All I'm subject to all day, every day, is my life getting stripped out with a detective committing crime against me, apologising for 1,000 crimes causing catastrophic and horrific torture. All day, every day, afflicting. I'm just being used as a human punch bag for the system to commit crime against me. They've stripped out all my sex power, all my sex drives, all my ability to think for myself, all my ability to sleep, all my ability to breathe, all the control over my own life, snagged into an institutional cell, so I can't get power in society. All my ability to speak for myself. They've made a human punch bag to keep possession of a human being by internalising his entire life. They've spent every day in my life to be subject to crippling breaking sessions, communicating into my power, stripping it out, where it's crippling mortification of self and breaking sessions all day, subject to some of the most horrific threats against your life, telling you you're a liar, smelly pussy, smelly fanny into your mum having a smelly pussy. Every time that you spoke to a girl and she slept with somebody else, relativising shit like raw dog, pure shit all day. Amadolo, pure shit. Or he'd have got taken off you, watch bollocking he gets into random police officers, putting my power in the system. Pure shit all day for crippling transgressions and humiliation all day. From, like I said, 24 hours a day, round the clock. Crippling transgressions, detective being entitled to my power to apologise to me for 1,000 times. So I'll summarise what I'm saying. They've opened an institutional cell that's wired my jaw shut with the objective of creating a human punch bag where they commit crime against you and then say sorry for it in a controlled state. So they're committing 1,000 crimes against me and then saying sorry for it in a controlled state and pulling my power out, leaving me in a critical condition all day, every day, being used as a punch bag, where they're inflicting crippling, degrading. Like I've just said, they've stripped my sex power out, relativising little prick, calling me a little prick while snagging my ability to get an erection. I've not had an erection now 4 months to 4 months plus. I've lost track, and that it never goes back in either. There's stuff they've pulled out that I'm still complaining about now from 2016 that's never gone back in, that I cannot get on. What I'm saying is this: I've just said that they've stripped out my erections or pulled out my sex power, so now my erections are two thirds smaller, or the 1/3 of what they should be, or what they was last year. And I'll tell you why it never goes back in and you never get it back. Because they've stripped stuff out in 2016 that I still complain about now, that I still cannot get on with my life for unless they put it back in. So they've pulled out numerous things in the last 9 years. In the last 9 years, they've pulled out parts of my character or parts of my power in society, even in 2016, that they've not put back in, that they've never put back in from 2016. So there's numerous things, potentially tens, if not hundreds of things they've stripped out, not just erection sizes that they've done this year, but they've pulled stuff out 9 years ago. They pulled stuff out 9 years ago that's not gone back in, that I'm still complaining about. So it's just a complete backlog of ignoring my life in society and continually stripping my life out. That's what they've done. Continually committing crime against your power all day, every day for 9 years, stripping your life out. Probably more, because that's how I've ended up in jail for 15 years. Continually committing crime, being entitled to your power to commit crime against you and strip your life out. And it's part of my life that they stripped out in 2016 that I still need putting back in now to get back on with my life. So there's never have been a point in that last 9 years where I've got on with my life, because I've just been subject to breaking sessions, crippling, degrading. I'm killing you all day, every day, making threats against my life and saying say it, forcing me to speak out about making threats against my life all day. all day, every day, overpowering me and killing my power by him, replicating, overpowering me and killing my power internally all day, every day, where he's overpowered me and gets away with doing what he wants and making threats against my life. And it apparently kills my power. So they've made my argument with me that they're going to kill me and then tortured me all day, every day. Crippling, degrading continues, torturing me into speaking out about issues, torturing me to speak out about, like I've just said, tortured me all day to speak out about mental health issues, all day, every day, making threats against my life, and entitled to get away with what I want. So they've replicated detective constables making threats against my life and in not making threats because he's overpowered me and killed my power, entitled to do what he wants and he's overpowering me, committing crime. So he's imitating, committing crime against me with criminal power and he's overpowered me to do what he wants. So problem still continues, all day, every day, entitled to do what he wants, making threats against my life. And the moment I've woken up to the moment I go to sleep, crippling, degrading, where detective constables are entitled to my power to make threats against my life, commit crime against me, crippling apology all day, making threats against my life and then saying sorry for it after and stripping my power out. So they've got a human being with an entire jaw wired shut and an entire life snagged, where they've made an internal punch bag where they're making threats against my life and then saying sorry for it and pulling it out, because they've made a human being where they commit crime against them internally to create power. It means, basically, I'm going to summarise it, they made a human punch bag where they keep possession of a human being and commit crime against them and blame mental illness and drug use. So they're making threats against my life in a controlled state, then saying sorry for it. So they've made a punch bag to take the frustrations out on, where they're committing crime against you, telling you you're a liar, and then making threats against your life and saying sorry for it. So they've made a human punch bag. That's what that is. They encapsulate your entire life where your jaw's shut, and they make a physical human punch bag where they torture you all day, every day to take out the frustrations, to get perverted in sadistic gratification. Problem still continued. Like I said, it's a forced suicide, making threats against my life, torturing me, relativising say it, whilst torturing me and forcing me to speak out about what they're saying, what they're relativising and making threats against my life with. So I'm in a situation where I'm subject to crippling, high-risk breaking sessions where they're forcing me to speak out about mental health issues that they can use against me, making their own argument with me where they're inflicting catastrophic torture and pressure internally where they're humiliating my power, forcing me to speak out under serious torturous conditions, threatening me into my power with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes, inflicting catastrophic torture so that I speak out about issues that they can use against me on these videos. Relativising say it with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes, giving himself power. Basically, they don't commit crime in society, they commit crime in the institutional self, and that's what's happening here. They commit crimes against humanity in an institutional self worth, put it this way, I can guarantee, I'll summarise what I'm saying, I can guarantee now, today, just in one day, they've committed more crime against me that's gone through either of my courtrooms in Sheffield. There's Sheffield Crown Court, Sheffield Magistrates Court. I can guarantee for a 100% fact. In fact, I can guarantee they've committed more crime against me today than what will go through any courtroom in this city this week. So Sheffield Crown Court, Sheffield Magistrates, if you total up all those crimes that have gone through those two courts this week, I can guarantee they've committed more crime against me just today, on the 8th of December. Just one day. Just in one day, me as an individual have committed more crime against me, talking shit into my power, making threats against my life, putting pressure on my skull, calling me a liar, crippling, catastrophic torture where they're threatening me, forcing me to say it, relativising say it whilst threatening me that I have to speak out about issues with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes, relativising bullied. In other words, getting away with what they want and rationalising it in the system and doing what they want in the institutional self. So they make their own human punch bags where they commit crime in an institutional self. And just today, I can guarantee they've committed more crime against me than what's gone through the courtrooms in my city this week, in Sheffield Magistrates and Sheffield Crown Court. Been making threats against my life all day, calling me a liar, making threats all day, committing crime against me, torturing me, forcing me to speak out, saying say it, stripping out my sex charge, pressure on my jaw getting worse and worse. I've not slept yet, by the way, while I'm making this. I've not slept since, today is the 8th, I've not slept since the 6th. So I've not slept since the 6th because I've been up all night with crippling transgressions, calling me a liar, basically apologising all day, every day, into 1,000 crimes. So all I'm subject to all day, like I've just been going on about, is threats against my life all day. My entire life snagged into a detective torturing me, making threats against my life, committing crime against me, threatening me, and now imitating Say It, where they're threatening me and torturing me, inflicting catastrophic, degrading, undue duress and torture, relativising Say It, making threats against my life, torturing me to speak out about mental health issues on these videos, saying Say It, whilst making an argument with me, so they can imitate torturing me and overpowering me, so they've forced me into submission to speak out about issues they've caused. So they're getting perverted and sadistic gratification out of killing your power by overpowering you, torturing you into submission, where you speak out about what it is you don't want to speak out about. Crippling, degrading, making threats against my life all day with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes, relativising Say It, making threats against me internally. I can't speak out physically about what I want to speak out about because they stripped all my power out. Just completely laid shut. I've not slept since, well, this is now the second day I've not slept for. It's because it's gone past 12 and the problem still continues. Today is the first day where my jaw is completely wide shut and my eyes are just pinned back. Internally, they stripped my entire life out, apologising all day, every day. Crippling apology, humiliating my power, apologising, saying sorry, Reese, where they've imitated, overpowering me, and they're entitled to strip my power out and say sorry for it all day, every day. Probably catastrophic torture. And I mean, there's no doubts in my mind it's been inhumane to stay alive, and it's a crime against humanity because they're calling people liars, threatening to kill them, threatening to kill their families, communicating. They've got possession of human beings in a controlled state where they're communicating into their power all day in a controlled state. So they've got a human being in a full controlled state with their entire life snagged where they're communicating to them all day. Problem still continues. It's the 8th of December, my jaw's shut, and now for years, all day, every day, 24 hours a day, threats against my life, crippling transgressions, calling me a liar, apologising, saying sorry while humiliating me and killing my power, crippling apology where he's entitled to my power to say sorry, and stripping my life out with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes. From the moment I've woken up until the moment I go to sleep, I was subject to breaking sessions and mortification of self, apologising into my power, imitating, being entitled to do what he wants, entitled to my power, and I can't do anything about it. All day, every day, imitating, apologising, and he's overpowered me to get away with whatever he wants, and he's consoling me, he gets away with what he wants. Costing me every single day of my life. They stripped out every single day of my life, and it's costing me every day of my life. With my power encapsulated into a detective calling me a liar and saying sorry with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes. All day, every day, costing me the best years of my life because they've made a human punch bag where they can communicate into your power, inflicting catastrophic torture. Problem still continues. I'll probably repeat myself on this video continually because that's what they stripped my life out into. I haven't got any ability to think for myself because they're calling me a liar and stopping me getting power in society. So they've said that I'm a liar, so they stripped every single bit of my ability to think for myself out or ability to get power in society in a controlled state. So I haven't got the ability to think for myself or make a formal or formative, planned or like strung together version of events that make sense because they've killed my power and stripped out, calling me a liar, saying that I lie, so they can't trust anything I said, so they've stripped out all my power internally. So I haven't got the ability to make a compelling defence or compelling side of view because they've stripped all my power out, calling me a liar all day. So I'll just keep repeating the same thing over and over again without any power to think for myself. They stopped me getting power in society because I'm apparently a liar that manipulates people. So they stripped out every single bit of my ability to get power in society, calling me a liar. So now I'm in a controlled, brain-dead, powerless state where I haven't got the physical capabilities or ability to get power in society or speak for myself. Apparently I kill power in society because I'm a liar. So it's obviously they've stripped every single bit of it out. That's why I keep repeating myself continually. Find the state getting worse and worse. Like I said, I'm just going to summarise what I'm saying. They've stripped every single bit of my power out, and today is the first day where I can't move, and it's starting to be in a full brain control state with no quality of life because they've stripped it all out. Problem still continues. Moment I'm waking up to the moment I'm going to sleep. If I do go to sleep, I'm subject to a detective constable being entitled to my power, saying sorry with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes. That's all there is to it. I'm going to summarise this full half-an-hour video now. Basically, it's the 8th of December 2025. Today's the first day where I'm in a full brain dead state with no power over my own life. It's all internalised. I've internalised all my sex power, my ability to think for myself. Today's the day where I'm fully unable to relax in a full robotic controlled state. It's a full physical controlled state with my jaw shut. And it's because from the moment I'm waking up to the moment I'm going to sleep, if I do sleep, I'm subject to an apology by detective constables being entitled to my power to commit crime against me with a magnitude of 1,000 crimes. So he's snagged my entire life into a detective constable entitled to my power to say sorry to me for 1,000 crimes all day, every day, apologising 1,000 times a day, causing catastrophic degrading. It's inhumane to be alive. I would not be alive whatsoever by my own means. Just because I'm speaking to this video is because they've stripped my entire life out. There is no doubts it cannot conform with any kind of law because how much catastrophically bad it is. Problems still continue. It's a forced suicide. It's inhumane to be alive all day, every day. Entitled to my power, detective constables making threats against my life, overpowering me and saying sorry for it all day. I'm subject to threats against my life all day, every day with detective constable being entitled to do what he wants and overpowering me. It's forced suicide. They've tortured somebody to death, torturing them to death, threatening somebody all day and imitating he's entitled to do what he wants, and he's committed crime against me all day. Catastrophic torture all day, making threats against my life.